So this is coming from CNBC. Taiwan chip stocks climb after NVIDIA announces $150 billion spending plans. So I think this is kind of an interesting thing to be looking at, right? In the macro, political, technological world that we're dealing with right now, where we as Americans are being told a lot of things, and it's getting very difficult to understand, like, what is reality, right? So one of the big pushes, for the past 6-8 years, whatever else, is this whole idea that the United States needs to become self-sufficient with producing, high class, high quality chips again, basically silicon, CPUs, GPUs, the whole 9 yards, right? So Biden had the CHIPS Act that was going to invest tens of billions of dollars into companies so that they could produce silicon in the United States. Trump is massacred that damn thing. And now there's a lot of investment. So he's getting equity in Intel and buying equity in other companies. And basically what we're being told is that the United States is on the path to self-sufficiency in silicon to some particular degree. The problem that I have with all of this is that we're getting narratives and that we're getting stories, right? We got narratives out of Biden. We're definitely getting narratives out of Trump. And it becomes very difficult to understand exactly where we are at with this transition, right? There's this whole idea that, right, that Taiwan is too vulnerable, right? Taiwan is a vulnerability to the United States, an existential vulnerability to the United States. So we want to pull their technological capacity out of Taiwan and bring it to the US. Now, it might come as a shock to you, but the Taiwanese politicians are not overly impressed with that plan. They're like, okay, so wait a minute, the only reason you're going to defend us from being attacked by China is because we produce your silicon. And now you want to take our production capacity back to your home country so that if we get bombed, you don't have to worry about it. Right, it's a bit of a weird proposition we're putting out there for Taiwan. But one of the curious things with all of this, again, it becomes very difficult to understand where we are. So like there was this big thing under the Biden administration with the CHIPS Act where TSMC was going to start producing wafers here in the United States, right? That's a win. Look, Biden is protecting the United States. We're going to become self-sufficient in producing wafers. But as I keep talking about, I talk about technology and business, right? There's a technology, there's a product, and the business itself. One of the problems is you can't actually do much with a wafer other than use it as a frisbee. What? No, a wafer is worth like $200,000 or whatever. Well, yeah, sort of, right? A wafer is a component that goes into the finished GPU. When basically you have a wafer, the wafer generally gets sliced up into the chips. Those chips go into the GPU, basically the cards, the graphics processing unit, and the card that you're going to use in your computer in order to get artificial intelligence or playing cyberpunk or whatever else. The wafer itself, like if you just have a pile of wafers, that's it. There's no value. They're frisbees. That's about all there is, right? So basically what happens is you take that wafer and then it has to get packaged. And so one of the interesting things, I shit you not, TSMC was doing, is they were producing the wafers here in the United States, shipping the wafers back to Taiwan to get packaged to be turned into an actual useful product. God bless American politicians. They might not be able to create very good policy, but they are funny. They are funny, right? And so again, that's like one of the weird issues that you're running into. Again, one of the big things going on now, so in the US, they talk about the whole nanometer process, right? 7 nanometer, 5 nanometer, 2 nanometer, 1.4 nanometer processes. So one of the interesting things here in the United States is they're talking about that we are able to do higher and higher quality wafers here, smaller and smaller nanometers. But the thing is, in Taiwan, again, the issue is, in Taiwan, they're producing the best quality chips. And then in the US, we're about 18 months behind. I feel like I've heard that number before. Where else have I heard the concept of being 18 months behind for AI hardware before? I've definitely heard that somewhere. So again, that's the kind of like weird world that we're in. And to be clear, not to be, well, look, to give Biden and Trump their due, we are producing more silicon in the U.S. now than we were back in like 2018 or whatever. But there's a real question about what does that actually mean? And so why this is interesting is because now we have NVIDIA pumping, I think it's $150 billion a year into Taiwan. Like into Taiwan, not into TSMC, because that's the thing. If it was TSMC could be putting fabs here in the US. So even though TSMC is a Taiwanese company, the factories are here, so who the hell cares? No, they're pumping this into Taiwan. NVIDIA is expanding heavily in Taiwan with a new campus and a tenfold increase in annual spending, CEO Jensen Huang announced on Wednesday. Quote, we're spending $100 billion, going to $150 billion in Taiwan each year. So it's $150 billion a year. This is not a one-time investment, Huang said in Taipei, noting that's up from $10 billion to $15 billion annually just 4 or 5 years ago. So 4 or 5 years ago, they were putting $10 to $15 billion a year into Taiwan, and now they're going to be putting $150 billion into Taiwan. By the end of the year, NVIDIA will begin building a new office complex called Constellation, which can accommodate 4,000 employees in northern Taipei. When it opens in 2030, he said that would be 4 times the company's existing headcount in Taiwan. A $150 billion annual outlay in Taiwan would be among NVIDIA's largest spending plans to date and exceed what the company made in revenue in a single quarter. The company has announced plans to invest $500 billion in AI infrastructure in the U.S. with local manufacturers over 4 years, which averages out to $125 billion annually in U.S. value creation. And this is where I go back to the whole thing. What's actually going on? So NVIDIA is putting $150 billion a year into Taiwan that is already the premier manufacturer of silicon. We are behind. As far as everybody seems to agree, whether you're blue hair or red hat, everybody agrees we are behind Taiwan. And so in order to catch up with Taiwan, they're going to be investing $25 billion less per year in the United States. Well, Eli, it's cost of living. There's a difference between cost of living in Taiwan and the United States. It's like, yeah, I do believe it's cheaper in Taiwan. So basically that would mean that $150 billion in Taiwan goes farther in Taiwan than it would in the United States. So it's not only are we getting less money invested into the United States, but how far that money goes is shorter than where it would be in Taiwan. Which, to be clear, brings up so many questions about U.S. policy towards things like silicon and AI. First question being, does anybody have an actual damn clue in the government about how any of this functionally works? Spoiler, I don't believe they do. This is why we should not hire 80-year-old presidents. 80-year-olds should retire. They should be used as consultants. They should be used as mentors. They should be used as advisors. They should be used as competitors in checker competitions. Should not be presidents. I'm just saying. So yeah, this is the stuff that is actually going on that makes me very curious to see how the silicon renaissance in the United States is actually going to pan out. It was interesting. I was on vacation last year. I think it was last year. Maybe it was the year before, about a year and a half ago. And was curious as I met an engineer. Shouldn't say the company. Anyways, I met an engineer for one of the big fabs. And he was responsible for building fabs in Arizona. Yeah, he told me some sad stories. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, no, seriously. As I've said many times before, I am not creative enough to come out with this shit that came out of that guy's mouth. You're like, it cannot be that bad. He's like, oh, dude, it is so much worse than you think. So anyways, it will be curious how this whole silicon renaissance goes in the United States, especially with politicians and leaders that don't seem to really have half of clue of what's going on. Biden, again, America's first dead president, didn't know what the hell is going on. This guy, he doesn't know what the hell's going on. I don't know. At least if we get AOC. Apparently AOC might be running for 2028. And, the good thing about AOC is I bet she probably understands how to at least, run DHCP on her computer. I bet she can release and renew an IP address on her computer, which, that's a step up. That is a step up. So what do you think about this? What do you think about NVIDIA investing $150 billion into Taiwan? And compared to the $125 billion he has said that he will invest in the United States. Also, one of the things I think under the Trump administration, right? They like to put a lot of things out in the news. They like good sound bites, right? Remember it was like the Foxconn facility up in Wisconsin, that disaster from his first term, right? That was going to be the largest Foxconn facility to do God knows what. And basically it's not cornfields anymore. They literally used eminent domain to take farms away from farm owners. So they're like, I don't know, feral or whatever. They're dead cornfields at this point in time because Foxconn sure as hell hasn't built the facilities they said they were going to build. So think about this too, is that NVIDIA has said they'll invest $500 billion, $125 billion a year in the United States. Doesn't mean they're actually doing it. And if you're Jensen Huang, if you're the CEO of NVIDIA, you've got a pot of money and you can allocate it to certain places. Do you really want to invest in the United States? Again, for technology development, engineering development, or would that make a lot more sense over in Taiwan? Where will the checks actually be written? I talked about that before with ARR. And now annualized revenue, basically with these startup companies, where they've started booking the revenue as soon as somebody signed the contract, not when they actually got any money. That's one of the things to be thinking about with this too, is, Jensen Huang can say a lot of things about what he's going to do for the United States, but then actually send the check to Taiwan. I'm just saying. What do you think about all this? Put your thoughts down below. If you like these videos and you want them on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, there's a link in the doobly-doo. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.